Good morning. Day 4, Friday. I've got to sort out my fishing reel. The drag has stopped working. Not sure why. Whether I can still fish with it with hardly any drag, I don't know. We'll have to see. So that's what I want to sort out. It is 5:38 in the morning. Oh. Yeah, it's typical morning around here, calm as anything. I've got coffee dripping, so I'll be into that soon. Oh, my body's a bit sore from the workout I had yesterday. A good sore, but I know I paddled a canoe 15 kilometers yesterday, half of it through the wind. Well, there goes a big group of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 canoes. All of them have 2 people except one is 3. It's 13. Bright and early. We started... Let's see, it is 7:27 now. I saw them set off on their campsite from the point maybe over half an hour ago. We're going to the Donald Scott Portage. They'll go through that, they'll go through Gold Lake, and they'll probably end up on Maskinonge. I saw those guys portaging in yesterday from, I think it's Donald Creek. When I was at the other end, I saw a bunch of red canoes. That must be them. Looks like a young group. No, I say young, youngish. Well, I was just fishing off the rocks here, right where I keep my canoe and pack raft. Look what I got. This was like at 6:30 in the morning. The guy followed my lure all the way up to shore. I actually saw him take it. I could have him for breakfast, but I'm not going. I'm going to let him go kiss my bass. There he goes. Bit of a nip to the morning today. Probably 4 or 5 degrees colder than it's been. in preparation for visiting the Thunderbox. Let's spray up. These are all the parts. Look at how red my legs are. These are all the parts that get bitten. Poop, poop, poop. See if that works. So this place does have a Thunderbox. I don't know if every single campsite, designated campsite, does. I would assume so. This one there's a pair of underwear in there. Jesus. This one has been used quite a lot this season. The thing is, you get a big party here and I can really fill this thing up, I would think. I have the feeling that the worst part of the bug onslaught is finished. Apparently it was delayed by a couple weeks this year. I think I may have hit the worst of it in Algonquin Park. Yesterday I don't think I put insect repellent on at all. In the evening I did at sunset. Well, I got me another one. Not huge, but perfect for eating. I'm going to have this guy for breakfast. I'm not going to do it on the fire. I'm going to do it on my pocket rocket. Kiss my bass. It's about 10:30, so I'll eat and then I'll just relax. Caught this one on a 5 of diamonds. I've come to realize that there's two traffic times on this lake. One is in the morning when people are decamping and they're leaving, moving on to the next camp or on home. I saw the first group today, maybe 7 o'clock, but the guys on the island, they left about 9, and then a big group came maybe 9:30. The big group, I think it was 5 canoes. So that's the morning. And then in the afternoon you see people who are coming in. They're looking for a campsite. And that usually starts about 2. I mean, to be safe, you want to be here by 2. Yesterday there was a couple that came by about 5, and it was a really strong wind too, and of course this camp and that camp right there were taken, so I don't know where they ended up. Yesterday I saw 3 float planes all around the same spot. Yesterday when I was canoeing to the portage to Kukagami, because of the wind I had to head across that bay. Preferably I'd want to go that way, but I couldn't because of the wind, so I had to go that way, find the shore, and then go along. Right where I found the shore, there's kind of a big bald rock, and there's a couple of boats, small outboard motor boats. No motors on them there. They're upside down on shore, just being stored. And that's where I saw at least one of the planes yesterday, so I figure there's something going on there. Also, when I passed, it kind of looked like just off into the bush there may have been a shack or a cottage or something like that. So my guess is it's a fish camp. Now, where would they be flying in from? I guess Sudbury, unless they're coming from TO, Toronto. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to fly in here. This lake isn't remote. You know, it's
6 hours paddling, you're here. But maybe a lot of people don't want to do that, or they got, I guess if you got big bucks. So this is day 4. I've had 3 nights. 3 more nights. I guess you could say 4 more days, because it's going to be 6 nights, and including the travel day out, it's going to be 7 days. So I left on Monday. I'm going to come back on Monday. So far today isn't as windy as yesterday. I hope it stays like this for Monday. But I've kind of decided I'm going to try to leave here maybe 6 o'clock, because even when the wind does come up, it's usually by 10:30, 11 o'clock it starts, and then by 2 it's pretty strong. So if I can be off this lake into Kukagami by 9:30, so that's a 7k paddle and a 1k portage, I think I would be happy. So after that, it's about a 7 or 8k paddle, even if it's against the wind. I've noticed when I came in here with Kukagami, at least I can hug the shoreline. And thing is, once you get out of Little Kukagami Lake, there's cottages and stuff around, and obviously there's a road. So worst comes to worst, I just go on shore and I beg some guy to drive me home because I want my mommy. I would really like to do it myself. I think I will, but you know, worst comes to worst. It's good to have a B plan. C plan? I don't know about the C plan. This Anchor PowerPort solar is indispensable. As long as you got sun, this thing is charging everything in sight. At the moment, I'm charging my lithium batteries for my GPS. Thing about the solar chargers, you can only charge 2 things at once, because it's only got 2 USB type A ports. But every day I've been topping up my my Garmin InReach, because I never turn that off. And then mostly it's just my Canon batteries and my GoPro batteries. So everything is good. Thank goodness I had the foresight to find out what kind of batteries this remote takes. This is a remote for my Canon M50. Well, I think it works on all Bluetooth Canon cameras. I thought I was running low on batteries when I was in Algonquin Park, but I just turned the camera on and off and it worked all right. But it made me think that, what if I do run out of batteries? So I opened it up. It takes the CR2032 batteries, so I got an extra one. Another good thing I got out of this is when I was trying to open this up, I needed a like a jeweler's screwdriver, and I went in a Canadian Tire and they had a dedicated screwdriver that was pretty big, would have done the job, and it was like $16. I almost bought it, but instead I just used it to open this up, find out what kind of battery it was. And then when I was in Mech in the afternoon, MEC, to get stuff for this trip, I saw that little Leatherman that I got. It's a Leatherman Mini something. I've never seen them that small, but it's tiny. But it's got a little screwdriver that'll fit on here. It's got a bigger screwdriver. It's got a little pair of scissors, which is another thing I needed, because I had some stainless steel packable scissors I got from Canadian Tire, and they only lasted 1 trip before. They were only $3. So now I've got that little Leatherman to fit in my... I keep it in my life jacket, along with the forceps I use for removing hooks from the fish. I'll show you that Leatherman a little bit later and all the things. I think it's got maybe 9 or 10 different tools on it. So it's a Leatherman Squirt. Tiny little thing, and I'll show you what's in it. First of all, you got the pliers, of course. Okay. Then you got a cute little pair of scissors, and I use those for fishing, to cut my fishing line and various things. Okay, and here's a screwdriver, can opener, or bottle opener I think. Here's another. This is a little screwdriver that I used on my remote. Nail file. And little knife blade. So I think that's everything that's on it. There's not a lot of things, but it's got everything I need. The big thing for me were the scissors, and that little screwdriver and the pliers. Well, you must be getting tired of me filleting bass by now, but here's another one. This one's, I think, slightly bigger than the last one I ate. You always start by cutting along, I guess you'll call it the gill plate at a slight angle, right through. Then you just follow the tip of the knife. At first you just make a shallow cut along the backbone, along the fins. And then when you get to the back fin, you go all the way through to the anus. And then you go along the backbone right to the tail. That's how you maximize your fillet. Now, you're just scraping along the ribs. If you're really good at this, you can do this really quickly. And if you got a good filleting knife. If you do it properly, you can actually touch the rib bones without cutting them. See? And once you get to a point, it gets really easy. So you're just going along the bigger the fish, usually the easier this is. And if anything, this is where you get bones right in this section right here. You could get the end of these bones. And you cut through into the stomach. I'm not doing a particularly good job, but there's one. Oh, that's a nice size fillet. That's a big one. The other side is just the same. It just didn't. Got the other angle. Okay, now it's just getting rid of the skin. And the important thing is getting the start. You lose a little bit of meat, but it gives you something to hang on to, and you want to kind of stretch it when you get going. If the skin is stretched, it's easier to see. I'm pulling with my hand and I'm pushing sort of with my knife. And the knife is on an angle, but not enough to cut the skin, just to sort of try to go under. This is where a filleting knife would really do the job well. It looks pretty good. Looks like I'm missing a bit of the belly meat there, but one. Two, there you go. Okay, today it's garlic and butter fish crisp. Again in canola oil. That's only one fillet, so it looks like I'm going to have to do 2 cooks. It's not going to take long. See, it's already browned on the other side. If you haven't noticed, My stove, an MSR pocket rocket too, it's kind of noisy. I'll turn it all the way up. Ah, Rodney. Oh, that wasn't good. I'll eat it anyway. Well, after dropping it on the ground, that's the problem with those stoves and that type of pan. They're really tippy, and I wasn't thinking. Problem is, there's canola oil and fish all over the fire. It's just like just saying to a bear, come on over and eat. So let's give it the taste test. I've still got one more cook to do. There's a few bit of dirt in there, but dirt and all tastes pretty good. Well, it's raining. Not much, but it's raining. It's funny because the gray clouds were coming in. It kind of looked ominous. So I ran around for a while, getting everything ready for rain, under the tarp, turned the boats over. When I was on my very last thing, I turned my pack raft over, put things under it to keep it dry. That's when the first raindrops started. It's just been a light shower. It's only 2 o'clock. So we'll see if it gets any worse, but I'm all prepared. I got the rain suit close at hand. Well, that was a 15-minute deluge. Jesus, it was raining cats and dogs there. Gotta watch you don't step in them poodles. Note to Rod, next time I set up the tarp, make sure it's at a slight angle so the water can run off. What it's doing now is it's pooling up, and then it's getting all the water coming off all at once. It's getting the top of the tarp. I'm worried about the tent because it's kind of sitting in a low spot. So I guess I'll have to give that a look. A bit of water pooling down there, so I guess we'll see. This towel that I found is soaked. Everything's in waterproof bags, so it should be alright. Well, now it looks alright. Oh, okay, that blew over. Huh. Man, what a storm. A thunderstorm. After the little squall, it got sunny, and then it came down. It really came down for about an hour. Man, it's the worst storm I've been in while being outdoors. It's a good you should see. Take a look at where my tent was. Let me throw a rock in there just so you can see how deep it is. Ugh. This is where my tent was. Luckily I moved it before it got too bad, but I'm not quite sure if this, I think it's better. At least it's not standing in pools of water. But I'm going to let things calm down a bit before I actually go inside and take a look. Even under the tarp things got wet because it was raining at an angle rather than straight up and down. I had to move the hammock. The one on this side, I moved it up one tree because it was getting poured on. I angled the tarp a little bit so the water would run down. Let's take a look at the things in the kitchen. Well, it gets wet, who cares? Most of this stuff, the food is in the dry bag. We hope it's dry. But boy, was it coming down. I mean, if it was like that all night or all day, I think I would have a problem. I mean, I've got my rain suit on. I probably would have been dry, well, semi-dry, but I would have been very uncomfortable, I would think. Bit of thunder, but as far as I could tell, no lightning. Well, if this continues, I think I better put the camera back in the dry bag. Well, this campsite is just one rock with just a little bit of soil on it. So this is where I was hunkered down. In the little chair underneath everything. I'll go back there. Well, if it gets a bit nicer, I'll go out fishing. I'll just leave everything to dry off, but I just want to stay here just to see. I pulled out a big garbage bag and covered a few things. That storm was amazing. I came all the way from Saudi Arabia for that one storm. Oh, it had all the elements of intrigue. Excuse my gut. Excuse my gut. For an hour, it rained like anything, and it wasn't a straight rain, it was an angled rain, so everything under the tarp was getting wet. PJs, that's what the Ontario salted caramel cream liqueur, equivalent to Bailey's, it's called PJs. Buy it. This is good stuff. Yeah, everything got dampish. The important stuff was in dry bags. You know, my cameras, my GoPro, my Canon, other stuff. But of course, my pack sack and stuff. Everything was getting a bit damp, and I was actually getting a bit worried. If that rain continued, I would have been worried. But to tell the truth, I was snug as a bug in a rug. I ended up putting my Pro Vitas on, my Fall Raven, rain pants over. I put my Fall Raven cab jacket on, rain top over, rain jacket over. So I was waterproof, you know. My feet were getting wet. I just had my camp shoes on, which are made to get wet. My biggest worry was the tent. I haven't looked in it yet. I moved the tent before there was a puddle this deep. Well, you saw it anyway because I videoed it. If I didn't move the tent, would it have stayed dry? I don't know. I mean, how waterproof is waterproof when you have this much water around the edges? And I moved the tent to a higher position. I mean, after it finished raining, there was puddles everywhere. And that's when you realize that this is just one big rock with a little bit of stuff on top of it in certain places. So the water doesn't go anywhere. You know, it's either going to flow down back to the lake, but it ain't going to seep into the ground soil? Topsoil, that's what I'm looking for. Well, now's the moment of truth. I'm going to go take a look at my tent and feel around and see, is it still dry or am I going to be damp tonight? Oh, follow me. Let's go have a look. I got a bunch of things drying out here. Got my pants, got my chair, got one of my hats. Oh, one of my pillows got wet. One of my 4 pillows. My boots. Those Bushnell H2O binoculars that are supposedly supposed to be waterproof. They are waterproof. I'm so pissed off at those Nikons. If you need a pair of mini binoculars, get the Bushnells. Product placement. Okay. Well, there it is. It's still a bit slightly wet on the outside. It's going to take a while for it to dry inside here because we got all the trees and stuff, but oh, let me just place you down. Okay. Oh baby, oh baby. The headlamp got pretty wet, but it still works. Well, it's kind of a good thing I did put on the rain tarp when I did, or I would have been screwed. Since I got here, no, that's not very. Since I got here, I've been basically sleeping under the stars without the rain tarp, so it's just like a glorified mosquito net. And I saw gray skies way in the distance, and I kind of thought, well, I better be careful. I put it on. If I didn't, I would be wet tonight, 100% sure. Okay, so well, I'll be honest, there's a few little damp spots. But there's no water in here, it's just slightly damp. I think what I'll do is I'll take the rain tarp off, empty the stuff out, and just put it somewhere where it can kind of dry off. Not quite sure how I'm going to do this. I've never done this before, so we'll see what happens and I'll update you on it. So it started drizzling again. You can probably hear it, so I had to rush to get the tent set up again and everything inside before it really gets wet. So I got the tent set up, staked down, everything inside. I moved everything under the tarp. I mean, this is a bit easier to handle now because it's just a drizzle. I mean, when it's falling straight down and just little drops, it's a lot easier to stay dry because I'm just slightly under the tarp and I'm not getting wet. But things haven't completely dried the way I've wanted them to. Including new camera lens. Oh, let's adjust this. Ooh, look at Rod, he needs a shave. Look at me. Hey? Gray-haired old fart. Anyway, I don't know if this is going to keep up or not. When in doubt, drink some sake. Japanese rice wine. I think the brand I've always bought in Ontario is Kukagami, which I've drank all over the world. Even when I was in Hong Kong, I think that's what I was drinking. Well, I just had to make a couple little adjustments to the tarp. Mostly so it drains better. I just lowered the two back ends, the three back ends. Well, there's two back ends in the middle. So it all drains that away. You should see what I got here. Let's have a look. So I got the tarp, I got the hammock, I got all my clothes hanging. I got my little chair, I've got my hiking bag with two plastic bags underneath it, and it's a rain and it's getting harder, but there's no wind. Ugh. There you are. There's no wind, so at least it's straight down. Ooh. Which isn't too bad. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, when it's straight down, it's easy to contend with. Then your tarp covers everything. But earlier, when it was storming, it was blowing this way. So I guess in hindsight, I should have maybe had the tarp like this, but live and learn. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. I just heard some thunder. I don't know which way the weather's moving. I mean, that away it kind of looks cloudy clear. Directly here is gray. Yeah, I'm hoping it's still moving here, so I think maybe half an hour or so it'll be done. I can, when in doubt, drink some sake, but I hope I have enough to last me. I guess that was a third apprehension about this trip. Would the bugs drive me crazy? No, they've almost been non-existent. 2. Could I last 6 days with one pair of underwear? Now that I realize how quickly they dry, yes. And 3rd, most important, I guess, will the alcohol last? I mean, you can only pack so much liquid, can't you? So you try to get as biggest bang for the buck. You can't pack beer. Even if you did, you'd be pissing all the time. It's draining pretty good now. I'm just glad I'm not sitting under. Yeah, it seems to be, that's the lowest point, so everything is going that way. Such a nice night. I had to come back to get my camera. Just as I was saying it, look at these grey skies coming. Take a look at this. Geez, the wind suddenly turned around, it's coming the other way. So maybe it's good I did come back. This is the biggest bass on my trip so far, look at that. Kiss my bass. Gonna let this guy go, it's too big to eat. That is one big bass. Come on, baby, swim. Give him some time. Give it a bit of help. Get under. Get under. There he goes. He's not happy, but he's alive. I said, oh, that guy was nice. Nice to let me go. I think I'll stay here. I think I'll call this home. We didn't catch him far away from here, actually. Well, as I was saying, the wind has done a complete 180 and it's moving. Look at that. I think I better get ready for some more rain. Let's do a rod 360. Oh, the camera looks quite a bit brighter than it really is.